I was able to stack up 35,400 points for open containers inside the traffic tunnels during the Lockgate event on Bluegate. Keep in mind, this event is the best option for this specific challenge because in general, there is a higher volume of containers to loot during that event inside the traffic tunnels. Now for my equipment, I brought in 9 stacks of adrenaline shots, which was definitely overkill, but I don't want to run out while I'm doing a challenge like this. I brought in a hole cracker, mostly for the comets and the shredders, and in case I needed to help out with the bastion. Otherwise, I brought in an anvil, photoelectric cloak, and snap hook. Obviously, a light shield to make sure I could run at maximum speed. Now, as you are preparing for this challenge, you might want to check the keys that you have. You can bring the Bluegate confiscation room key and get a decent amount of containers for you to add to your points. And then additionally, if you have the patrol car key, you can use it in the traffic tunnels as well. Now the patrol car key will only give you a single container, so it's only worth 200 points. But if you have it, you might as well use it because now is a great time to do that. Now once you spawn in, you want to head for one of the 4 different areas that you can get a key card. The 4 areas are the Raiders Refuge, Reinforced Reception, Pilgrim's Peak, and the Ancient Fort. In each location, you will essentially find a little printer device where you can print the code and grab the physical code to bring to the warehouse complex where you turn them in to unlock the gate. Now, in a perfect world, everybody in the game participates in this, so everyone that is close to an area will try and grab a code and bring it over to turn it in. In that same perfect world, in general, you can get the locked gate opened around the 35-minute mark out of the 40 total minutes, giving you plenty of time to farm in the tunnels. Now, once the gate opens, your route is totally up to you. But in general, I tend to go to the right-hand side and then work around to the left. This is because in my experience, a lot of players tend to go to the reinforced reception right away because there's so many containers to loot and they want to get it out of the way. There is a room in there that requires you to deliver batteries in order to open it to get containers to loot, and I don't want to spend my time delivering those batteries. So I wait until the very end of the match to do the reinforced reception, hoping that other players have taken care of it by the time that I got there. With the recommended route that I gave of going to the right, you can kind of save your confiscation room key until the end. And if somebody else has it, they've probably already opened that door, so you can let them be the ones that use their key, and you can save yours for another run if you plan to do it again, or for the next time this trial comes around. Now, every container counts for this challenge. You can breach and open the hood of a car, you could open a locker, you could open an ammo box, a medical bag. Every single thing counts for this challenge, and each container that you loot will give you 200 points. The only containers that do not count are enemy bodies. You can't eliminate a pop and then loot that body and get points for this challenge. It is map specifically placed objects that count towards your trial score. Now, if you're not familiar with the traffic tunnels, it's incredibly easy to get turned around. And I'm still exploring different strategies to figure out a way to kind of mark the path that you've been. That way you can ensure that you don't backtrack a whole lot. I tested out a method earlier today using the glow sticks, but unfortunately the glow lasts for a short period of time, and then the actual physical glow stick itself disappears from the map shortly after. So even though I was leaving a bit of a breadcrumb trail for myself, it didn't actually end up working out. That said, if you're not sure if you're backtracking, you can do one of 2 things. The easiest way and fastest way to tell is to pay attention to whether or not you get the experience on the left-hand side after you search a container. Even if you're the max level, you will still receive the experience for opening and searching different containers. And the first time that you do it during a match is when you receive the experience. So if you search a container and you don't see that pop up, it means you've already gotten it and you're currently backtracking. This little thing can be super helpful for making sure that you stay on track and go the right way. The second part, if you want to be super sure, is you can also just open your logbook, look at the score beforehand, search the thing, and then check the score afterwards. It should move up by 200 points, but if it doesn't, then you've already searched that thing and you can move on. Now, 35 minutes, even 30 minutes is a really long time, but you're going to need it to get through the entire space. That said, you don't really need to sprint from place to place a whole lot. I sprinted kind of through the tunnels themselves, but when I was in actual rooms, I played it very slow and steady to make sure I could find every container that I could see. One of the areas that I did not hit super well during this run was things that are up high on top of different aspects of the locked gate area itself. The little patrol checkpoints in the main tunnels usually have some sort of thing on top. I didn't learn about it until later in the game when somebody told me about it themselves, so I figured it out late. I didn't go back to check the other ones, but In general, when you see those little patrol checkpoints, the ones that have like the small building in the middle of the traffic tunnels, if you jump up on top, you can sometimes find things up there to search. Additionally, as you are searching, look up to see if there's any vents that are running along this hop that you might be able to get on. In some cases, you can jump up onto those vents and find containers to search. In general, I recommend not looting the containers. You essentially want to search it until the inventory menu pops up, and then you can back out before you even see anything technically appear. This just ensures that over the course of the 100 to 200 different things that you're opening, you save a bunch of time for getting to the next set of containers. If you stop and try and loot everything that's in the container, you will not be able to make it through the entire traffic tunnels in time. Now that said, I definitely stopped and grabbed a few things along the way. I was really low on springs, so I picked up a few things that were spring related. And then when I saw a trinket, it was really hard for me to deny myself that free sell value, especially because I spend a ton of money on trials week to week. But beyond that, I recommend just staying focused on tapping those containers and moving through the space. Beyond that, there isn't a ton more to this challenge. It really is just a process of searching the containers and stacking up your score. Make sure you're aware of where the extraction is and give yourself enough buffer time to get there. Leaving the traffic tunnels, you're often met with a bombardier or bastion and a handful of other enemies that you need to work your way through, or use the photoelectric cloak to get by. Once you've stacked up enough points and you're happy with your score, head back to Speranza, collect any loot if you haven't already, and watch your score fly up the leaderboard. That's going to be it for me today, y'all. Thanks for watching.